Jai Hind everybody. I am Dr. Rashmi Sharma from Department of Information Technology working in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today we would be discussing one of the critical topic of project management and entrepreneurship of Unit 5. The topic is what are the different types of the risk involved in social entrepreneurs. So before starting this particular point, I would like to say that this is the unit 5th and here we are having this particular the risk management in social entrepreneur. This is a very important question, or I should say a 10 marker question which usually comes in AKTU examination. So coming to what do we mean by social entrepreneurs? So social entrepreneurship comprises of all the social entrepreneur comprises of all different types of entrepreneurs which we have studied in unit 1 and some of we have studied in unit 2. So here showing this, that is this social entrepreneur is an intersection of government organization, non-profit organization and for-profit organization. Obviously, for non-profit organization, we have heard about it, the NGOs or non-government organization who are running for the welfare of the people, and they have some specific cause for running that entrepreneurship, because they want to run this particular enterprise because they have some social cause, some cause they have identified which is pulling back our society and they want to improve our society. For example, I should say in early 19th century there was a custom of sati pratha. That means it was pulling down all those widows to be sitting on the fire when their husband is not alive. Why? They are not a human being. They don't have a right to live. That was a social cause which was understood by a group of people and they started revolting them. If they were not told to have that particular sati pratha, then also they were used to live in a specific area. They have to only go and worship temples. They can go and worship gods only. They cannot participate in any of the social events except that temple visits. So these were some of the rituals which we used to follow, and that was pulling back the females from living a normal life. So we had to overcome that particular problem. That was one that I can say is a one thing which those who have taken are running as in social entrepreneurs. Then coming to the point, we can have like nowadays we are having सबका विकास, सबके साथ सबका विकास, और educate each and every girl child should be educated. So these are some of the tagline. और स्वच्छता अभियान, वो भी एक अभियान, that was also a revolution which took place, and that is not a responsibility of a single person, but a group of people identify that particular need or the social cause in which we are lacking behind, and we have to overcome that particular thing. For example, the child labor, that is a very common problem in India. The families which don't have a economical support, or they are not economically strong, their children don't go to the schools for studying, and they go to small shops for, again maybe for some automobile shop जहाँ पंचर ठीक होते हैं, or some hotel where we only go and tell छोटू जरा चाय लाना. So these are some of the things where we encourage, but some people have identified those particular causes and they tell their parents that they should not be sent to the workplace, but they would pay for that particular earning which they are getting on a daily basis, and they should send their child to a school so that they can be encouraged to study. Obviously, government is also taking part into this. They are giving midday meals, they are giving scholarship to the students depending on their Aadhaar card and the monthly income of the family. So midday meal is compulsory in each and every Anganwadi or the small places where we have these particular primary schools. So here, these are some of the social causes which we are taking, even the government is taking part into it, or government is helping those entrepreneurs who are making a part or who are taking participation into this particular revolution. So obviously when a particular person comes with a mindset, so what are the different risks which are being involved for a person to become a social entrepreneur, or how can they run their social enterprise? Obviously, when coming to a point, if I tell you that when I'm having a normal enterprise, if I'm opening and I want to become want to start a startup, I want to become an entrepreneur. So what is the procedure we did? We take a land, we build the infrastructure. We have studied all this in unit 2. So we build the infrastructure in all the necessary things required for our so-called code to code product development. Whatever thing we are doing it. For doing all these things, from where do we get the cash? There are two ways. We can take some grants from the governments, or we can take loans from the banks. In the last unit 4, we have studied that we can have debentures and the equity shareholders. So there are a number of ways from where we can earn those particular income. But earning a income or earning a capital in a normal enterprise is very easy as compared to having earning the capital or that particular hard cash for a social enterprise. Why? So these are some of the risks which would give the reason why a social entrepreneur has more challenges in getting the cash, even from the banks or from its investors or from the government organizations, because they have to tell them that they are taking that particular cash for the social upliftment of the society or upliftment of those people who come under or who fall under that particular problem for which they are having their social enterprise. So some of the risk here we would be taking a look into it. So obviously when we are taking the risk management, first we should follow that we should from where we can get the freedom to have the finance. Obviously we want to change the lives, and we should know what are our dreams. The first dream for a social entrepreneur should be, I want to change the life of the people. In what way, for what cause, and how you will get that particular financial freedom. Obviously financial freedom means you have to earn money. To earn money for that particular cause, you have to first invest money, invest our all the time, all our efforts into it, and then only we would get something in return. That something is, quote to quote, is not sufficient always. We should first of all think that we can only get a bread or a food on our table. That's it, nothing else. When we start thinking then what all income is coming, then we invest that particular. But how that income would be coming, we have to look into this, and what are the risks involved in getting that particular cash, even from the banks or from our investors or government policies. So to becoming a full-fledged social entrepreneurs definitely involves many risks and challenges are being associated with it. So what are the risks and the challenges? These are some of the risks which are involved. First is obtaining finance. Second is backlash, not focusing on the profit, burnout, lack of public knowledge. One by one I would be taking all these particular things. See what are the different risks and how we can mitigate these particular risks. So what are the marketing skills? Then not having a substantial support structure and not many success cases. So coming to the first, obtaining the finance. Obviously, we have to obtain finance maybe from the bank or from the investors or from government organizations in terms of our grants. So first thing is we require some sort of funding to start our enterprise, and for that entrepreneur process, how can we get? We can take it from, as I told, we can take it from private lenders or a bank, and they should know how we are overcoming that particular case. So case means a cause for which we are having that particular organization or the social enterprise. So the problem with the social enterprise is we don't have a specific business model which tells what would be the massive profits. Obviously, whenever if I have a production company, assume similarly that I have a juice company, juice bottle, I'm manufacturing the juices. So in that particular case, if I tell that I sell of 10,000 juice bottles, pricing 10 rupees, that would be approximately giving me 1 lakh, and I have a cost price of that along with all the overheads added to it. I get in 5.5, the total cost price is 5.5 rupees. So the if I'm selling it at a rate of 9 also to one of my grocery store or one of my vendors, then I'm earning, see, in 9 rupees I'm selling. The cost price for me is, this is the selling price of me, 10 rupees is the selling price of my vendor. Okay, I am selling to my vendor in 9 rupees, and for this the total cost which is incurred to me, including all overheads, is 5.4. So approximately, if you see, I have a profit of 3.5 rupees on a single bottle. If I sell 10,000 bottles, so 3.5 into this gives me 3, 5 and 4 zeros, that is 35,000 rupees, decimal here, so I would get a profit of 35. So I have some calculations to be done in this. When I have a production company, I'm selling something in terms of monetary, but in this I don't have a monetary term in which I'm selling my causes, because these causes are our social causes, a social problem which we have identified, and we want to overcome that. Obviously we can earn income in that particular case, but the income would be a later part. We have to first invest, we have to overcome that particular problem, then only when more hands will come together, then we can get the profit also. So here we don't have a specific business model which tells me that that would be the profit which I would be making when I'm running such a social enterprise. So this, coupled with fact of social entrepreneurship, widely misunderstood, that makes the lenders, so the lenders don't invest in the social causes because they look into the monetary benefit. If I invest this much money, what would be the we have studied ROI, rate of return, which I would be rate of return of investments which we would be getting on those particular for the investors. So every investors, even it is a debenture or a equity shareholders, look into this particular return policy. Obviously when you purchase a share, you look into it, what share would give you maximum returns, you invest into that shares only. So these are some of the, obtaining a finance becomes a major issue for our social. So we are rejected by many lenders consistently, and that obviously will make us a depressed form, that I'm going and approaching people and I'm not getting success. So sometimes we have to have a solid plan that this would be the things I would be doing for this locality only, and I would get approximately, if I get a return of 10% also, 10% return is in terms of people responses, because first in social entrepreneur we require a social response, people are involving. If I'm running that child labor issue and I'm going to 100 families and 10 of the families also agrees that they won't be sending their kids to the workplace but sending their kids to school, they would get the midday meal, all the books free, even the they are giving some particular caution money or the stipend sort of thing also, so they can earn the income from there which the government is providing. So but we have to go and encourage those particular parents that don't send your kids to the workplace but to a school which is having all these particular facilities. So they, in this particular case, you have to consistently go and convince that particular mindset, and people again take a back foot also. So here you have to go and get rejected. Obviously you get rejected also at a point of time, but you have to be a continuous stakeholders or continuously going and probing those person that you have to look into that particular cause. So important is you should have a social solid business which is in, which would indirectly turn into profits in near future. So we have to look what all would be the profits. So we have financing, when only you will get finance, when you show the return on the investments to your investors And that would be only possible if you have a solid business plan. You know what all the risks are there, how you will overcome those particular risks. You have two ways. One, when I identify the risk, I have the risk elimination method and I have a risk mitigation method. Okay, so risk elimination is that you won't let that risk occur. That is elimination. Mitigation is definitely that risk would come. What would be the backup plan? Obviously, we have a plan A and plan B. If plan A doesn't work and I don't get the output, then what should be the plan B? Then this plan B is told as the risk mitigation plan. Each and every company, each and every entrepreneur has this risk elimination and risk mitigation plans. So coming to the second, that is the backlash. Backlash is you have to find, you are fighting for a certain cost, and there are in many cases there will be people fighting for that the same cost, like the child labor. N number of people are fighting, and you know that this particular cause which you are having is a controversial cause. For this controversial cause, that we should educate each and every girl child is the best example. In some of the conservative families of Rajasthan or Haryana, you might have seen that movie, I think, Sand Ki Aankh, in which the dadis used to go and tell their granddaughters that you should learn shooting, but while doing that, the dadis became the role models for them. So you have to overcome that conservational mindset, and bringing the people from that particular mindset is very difficult thing. So in that case, when there is a controversial topic, obviously the controversial topic is when there is something against our beliefs, something against our rituals. In early age, it was very difficult for the people also to convince others that the sati pratha won't take place. So obviously 90% of the social entrepreneurs have this particular controversial topics, and they have to convince the mob or the public against it. So more backslash as you have expected. So more the controversial topic you are taking, the more the challenges which you have to face. So even though social entrepreneurs are known being selfless, even though they have to prove them that they are working for that particular social cause, that is very discouraging for me. So from the day of the social media, you have never ceasing topic. One or the another people would be against you. When it is a normal, when it was 10 years back, we don't had this particular blogs and the tweets which you are having. For each and every controversial thing, that is a never ending process. Someone tweets or gives a blog, and again the others are following this, and we are looking into that particular matter, and it's getting activated or it's getting fired again and again. So this is one of the major issues. And so it is essential to be aware of existing social justice groups. Obviously, when you are having that particular social cause or the controversial topic, then you can go and take the help of those particular groups. You can convince those particular groups that your aim is so clear that you don't want to get into controversy, but you want to have this particular cause to be removed from the society. And then you have to step into that particular intended project so that they can help you out when you are facing any problems. Then not focusing of the profit. Obviously, when you are doing this particular social cause, we say hum to sirf logo ka bhala karne aaye. We don't think that we would be earning something from it. So okay, for a year or two, for you yourself, this can be a good thing that hum social cause ke liye aaye. We don't want any profit to be earned because we are very sound from our family. But if that particular part is being satisfied, then you would be recruiting more people. You would be having more hands to be working in your organization. Why would they get attached with you if you are not making any profit? They are not getting any salary. They won't be attaching to you. So you should have a focus. You should prioritize the social cause first, definitely, because you are a social entrepreneur. That social cause has a priority one, but you cannot say that the money is taking very backseat. That cannot be the last backbencher. So we don't want that the money should take the backbenching, but it can take the second. First the social cause, then the money, because when you earn money, then only that social cause would get spread out, or you can have more hands involved into it. So you have to take your priorities. You have to remember that more profit and you can have more people to be looking back into your business. More people will get attached to your business looking into the profit. Here I can give an example, that NGO which is run in Tihar jail, where all the prisoners are trained in some of the handicraft work. Some of them make the wax candles, scented wax candles. Some of them does some art painting. Some of them does some knitting and all different things. So they, because they are not educated much, but they have this particular skill set. Even if they don't have that particular skill set, they are being trained to get that particular skill set, and then they start developing or producing those particular products. They are launching those products in the market. We are purchasing those products. By that earning, they are giving those particular prisoners salary on a monthly basis, except what they are getting the food shelter from the jail. So that is an extra earning which they are doing it, and they feel happy that they are becoming a good part of the society, and they are helping the society, and they are earning themselves also. So these are some of the things we have to look into, because if they don't come to the market, we won't purchase and they won't earn a profit from them. So we have to look into the thing that we should able to hire more people. That would be possible only when, after completing your social cost, you get a back second seat to your earning profit or money also. Then the burnout, obviously you have a genuine risk that the social justice people are there, and you often put to your heart that they are telling me this and I'm not doing those particular works. But you have to set, you don't have some fixed working hours when you are running an social enterprise, because when you are going to the field area for the child labor only, if I'm going to the field area, I have a commodity, assume I have a commodity somewhere in Purani Delhi, and I'm going and visiting there, and I thought to visit 10 families, so that I can convince some of them that they should not send their child to the workplaces, but they have to send it to the schools where they get all those particular facilities. So to visit those particular 10 families, to convince them, approximately I can take a half an hour. In some family I can take 10 minutes also. In some family I can take 1 hour also, if they are more reluctant and we are having an argument with them. So we don't have that specifics 9 to 6 hours, because we do, between 9 to 6, I think those parents would be also going to their workplaces and won't be available. So you don't have some specific working time, and we have to somewhere compromise with our personal lives also, and we are burned out from middle inside if we don't get the anything in terms of our output. And that output is, obviously, when you are having a social cause, first is the mental peace or achieving of some particular goals, then the second one is your money. So you have to maintain a healthy work life balance to avoid the burnout. As I told, that you have to have a healthy work and life balance, so that you can look after both your physical and the mental health. Then lack of the public knowledge. Obviously the public or the commodities don't have that particular knowledge. As I told, that I'm visiting 10 families, and they don't know where is the nearby school which is providing them the midday meal and the stipend to their kid if they enroll it. So they don't have that particular knowledge. One can be those families don't have the knowledge. Second, the families are very reluctant. No, we won't be sending because he is the only earning hand, and so on and so forth. So we have to convince and give support. When they are reluctant, maybe we have to give some financial support, that we would be giving you some part of the money which he is earning, maybe say 1,000 rupees of earning to you, if you send your child to that place. Maybe after 3 months, they again push the child, take back the child from the school and send it to the workplace, because they are earning more than 1,000 rupees. So there are some of the ways in which people don't have, the public don't have the knowledge. We have to give the knowledge. Obviously this knowledge for those particular people which I'm considering, they don't have this option of the online ones. But nowadays also we have some of the information on online mode also as compared to the offline mode. But in these online modes, some of the people have a misconception, and they start posting those particular misconception, that this NGO is not good, good and they are earning money and they are taking the profit for themselves. So and each and everything has an ifs and buts. So maybe there are some misconceptions on the online, and they go and tell that those particular misconceptions to the people also, and they start thinking. So we have to give public each and every person a specific level of knowledge, so that they can understand why that particular social organization is being set up. And if public has the knowledge, they would willingly come to help you, and they would be willingly come and participate also in your particular cause without money also. So these are spreading the knowledge to the social enterprise. Like I think you might be knowing, we have an organization like Akshay Patra, in which if we donate some money, it used to come in ATCC till 2023 March. I don't know in 2024 budget is it coming into that particular thing or not, but till 2023 if I donated in Akshay Patra, that was giving me the food to the children who are not financially sound, and so that they can have a healthy diet and they would stay healthy. So if you donate money, then that would be giving us rebate in ATCC, so that I am not able to go and help them directly, but some organizations are coming and taking money from me or checks from me, and they are helping those particular people. So if like me, I am aware, others also get aware, and they become a part of this particular social enterprise, and obtaining them the finance, a part of it, but that would definitely make a change to the life of the who are victim of that particular thing. Then come marketing. Obviously, marketing of social business definitely comes as a challenge, because all of them are not ready to become a source. Or like I am telling that I can donate money, but I'm not able. I'm not willing to go and visit those particular community areas where people live and where they are starving, and that would give me a mental disbalance in my mind. So I don't go and visit those places. So maybe as the people are not having those particular mindsets, so we don't have that particular marketing things, the challenges are still there. So we have to, they may not have the resources, time, funds, so to be put into the marketing, so that more and more people knows about that particular thing and they are willing to help you. So marketing skills are also lacking behind when we are coming to this particular social entrepreneurs. So not having substantial support structure. Obviously you are having some support structure, and you can, that cannot turn into help and advise them. If we have the same cause, assume that I'm going to go and start in New Delhi some area, but similar some organization was there in Ghaziabad. If I don't know about that particular support groups which have worked and they were successful in achieving some of their targets, if I don't have that particular knowledge or substantial support centers, then I won't be able, because I need experienced people who know how to convince what all things are to be kept into the mind of those parents, so that they don't send their child to a workplace. So if though I don't have that supporting persons with me, so I cannot go and get myself involved unless and until I know the mindset of those particular parents. So obviously we should have a substantial support structure, which is usually missing in this particular if I have some particular problem in my income tax statement, I go to a CA. That is the person where I look, and that is the support structure which I get from that CA, and he tells me invest here, and you can take a rebate. So similarly in this particular social enterprise, we don't get that particular support structure because less of the success stories are there. So because the success entrepreneurship is relatively new, obviously the social entrepreneurs are relatively new to these particular thing, and we take the businesses fall into the social entrepreneurs. We have some specific regulations to see that if that particular organization or the enterprise which I am starting would lie into a normal entrepreneur, or would lie in a social entrepreneur. So we have to see there are different rules for different organizations. Definitely, which I told in the last slide also, we don't have many success cases. Whenever, if we think, if I give a second thought, even though I'm educated, I know many of the things, once in a blue moon, my son or my daughter, she comes and tell me, Mama, मुझे तो social entrepreneur बनना है, and I want to learn, do this for different, this particular cause, and so on and so forth. So what would I tell? That you should have some financial support for yourself, then only you can go and do something socially welfare for any of the organization or the people. So obviously we don't, because they have not done this, they have not done, we have many unsuccessful stories. उसने ऐसा किया था, देख नहीं हुआ, ये था वो नहीं. So we have many ifs and buts as a parent also, or as a person also. So in those I would take, to donate कर दे, ठीक है, you are helping that. वो कैसे जा रहा है, कहाँ जा रहा है, I'm not bothered, but from my side I'm doing it. So because the success stories which I have heard are very less in this particular thing, so I won't encourage. Maybe in near future I may, but at present condition I won't encourage my kids also to go into this particular thing. So because we don't we are looking for some role models, we don't have this particular role models in our family. We don't want that our kids should stand out in this particular case. Maybe standing out to become an IITian is a collar up, but becoming a social entrepreneur is not this. So that is the mindset which we usually Indians have it. So we should have this particular success cases stories, like we have for Ambanis and other people. So similarly we can choose from them what can be the minimum business template. So it affects the likeliness to get the loans from the vendors also, and you can have those particular successful companies who are doing it, like the Shark Tanks. They are encouraging the new entrepreneurs or the startup entrepreneurs. So similarly we can have those for our social enterprises also, or we can have the franchisees also. Like I told you that in Ghaziabad that was a successful thing, but in Delhi if I'm starting it, I can take a franchisee, I can have the expertization of those particular people as a support group also and a success story also, and I can carry on their legacy and perform that work very successfully. But if I do it individually, maybe in that particular case I have to do it everything from the scratch. So if I have those particular successful cases in some organization, I can take the franchisee also for them. So what are the different risk management things we have to? Obviously for social entrepreneurs need to manage the risk like any other organization. We have to manage those particular risks. So you have to face many similar risks as those of your the traditional ones. Like you have to do the activities in the hand, you have to service the users. There you are producing a product and the customer should get satisfied, then only that customer would get the or purchase your product next time. Once I am not satisfied, I won't purchase the product next time. But once can be a trial. But in this also I have to go and convince people. That is also the marketing skills, that is personal marketing I should have. So risk management is the key tool for protecting your social enterprise. So you have to manage those particular risks which we have discussed till now. And at in insurance is only one stage of the risk management process. Irrespective of the insurance, you can have a careful and the considerable management which we have to do. Obviously insurance is when we don't want that we should be bankrupt, we take an insurance of our business or our this particular buildings or the infrastructures. So the first stage in managing risk is identifying what are the different risks that is in resides inside our social enterprise. And when you take this particular what situations might stop from operating that particular enterprise. Nobody, I'm not getting output from 3 months, or I'm not getting output from 12 months. That may be the condition. So first I have to identify kya problems ho sakti hai. You have to pen down all those things. When should I stop? If I'm not getting this particular return, I should stop. If I'm putting all my efforts and I'm not getting anything in return for a specific period of time, so we should decide that particular limiting condition also. And you should create one-off cost which would stretch your cash flow from where you are getting. If I'm visiting on a daily basis to that particular area in New Delhi to convince those particular 10 family, if 2 convince, then I'm getting 2 new, and again roads daily visiting 10 families and convincing them. So I'm going daily there. If I'm eating or I'm drinking tea, what all expenses I'm doing it. communicating, eating something, having refreshment. So all those things are adding to the cost. From where I would get that particular cash, quote unquote, the cash or the money which I have to spend. So from where I can get that particular cash flow? Okay, definitely what liabilities have the potential to damage your social enterprise? What can damage it? How we can be able to, what are the liabilities? Definitely, if I have done something and I told that I will give you 1,000 rupees per month, you send your kids to the school. So if I'm taking that particular, that is also a liability of giving 1,000 rupees per month for a single child. So what all the liabilities are there? Then in which circumstances might the interjections and support of the insurer of your organization, at what point the insurer will help you out in carrying out all those particular tasks? So these are some of the risks which we have to identify, and while identifying, you should get your board or the management team, because you have penned down everything. Then you should do a brainstorming session for all those risks. If this is occurring, what would be our plan? You have to do that particular exercise so that you don't come across those particular risks. And you have to review, once you have reviewed the risk, and obviously you have to see a simple, we usually put them into a simple spreadsheet which serve as a risk sheet, and when you are having, we rate them according to the priority. Obviously the risk one is the one with the highest risk, or I should say that is the critical risk which I have to overcome on any cost. If R1 is the critical risk which I have to overcome on any cost, the on 2, that is the emergency, I don't call it a river, the medium risk, and R3 is a very low level risk which I don't overcome also, but if it converts into medium or a critical one, then I have to overcome that particular risk. So we have to prioritize this particular risk. After we make the Excel of all those particular risks, we are brainstorming on that particular risk, then we regularly review and criticize or add new risk in our Excel sheet. So we are having a continuous process. The critical risk, definitely we have to overcome at that particular point of time. सबसे पहले हमें critical risk overcome करनी है. Then we will review those particular risk list. If some new risk has arrived, then we will add it. If we have to review the हमने ये overcome कर दिया या नहीं. If we have done this, we have mitigated it, we have eliminated that risk, well, I would take it a back seat for that seat. So we have to have this particular review. Then this register identifies the key area, the basic areas where those particular risks are going to occur. Like if I tell you in the terms of software terms, we have a software related risk, we have a hardware related risk, a client related risk, a infrastructure related risk, a cloud related risk, or a technology related risk. So we can have a number of types of the risk. Similarly, in this, we have to identify the specific area. People are not, we are not able to convince people, we are not able to give them cash for more than 6 months, so on and so forth can be the reasons for this. We have to identify the potential frequency and the impact of those particular risks which are there, and this will highlight issues and require attentions in order to identify those particular factors which will mitigate those particular risks. So coming to this, we have that we should have a business continuity plan. How can we have this? Because we are in this, we have to identify the risk, and then we have to see, when we identify, we have to make a spreadsheet or a register of this. Continuously we have to review it and see the potential frequency and then the priority. So this in short is called as business continuity plan. So this register would help you to make BCP, that is business continuity plan. What are the risks which we are getting, how we can overcome or eliminate or mitigate those particular risks, and when doing this, what are the new risks which are being adding, what plan we have to follow. So in this BCP, we identify the major risk, as we have discussed, we encounter those particular risks, then we anyway materialize including the internal and the external communication. Obviously, to overcome that particular risk, the management has, or the people who are involved in that particular social cause or the enterprise, have to have a brainstorming session, and internally they would be having that particular meeting. Externally, I have to go and meet the people to whom it is being concerned. Then BCP is in to keep your social enterprise running smoothly, and there is no problem in having that particular BCPs. So BCP will be specific to your organization. We should identify the responsibility of the BCP. If you have that BCP, we have to see in what crisis the management will activate that BCP, and we have to work on those particular business continuity plans. So the BCP should consider the impact on the income, obviously, from where you will get, what is the cash flow, impact and effectiveness of staff, customers, service users, and obviously the impact on reputation and the stakeholders. So coming to the point of one by one, from where I'm getting the income, I have to look into it. The cash which is coming back, maybe in terms of returns, someone is donating to our social enterprise or our social cause. Then what is the effectiveness, what are the different staffs which is being involved, what type of customers are being involved into it. Obviously, like the girl child education, the customers would be the parents and the girl child only. They both should be willing to send their child also, and the parents should be willing to send their girl child, and the girl should be ready to study also. And what are the different service users? Then the reputation should not go off, and we have to see what different stakeholders who are investing their money or becoming a part of our organization, what they are considering the risk, and we are overcoming those particular risk or not. So don't to forget, obviously the hardware and software implications are also the software risk if we are running those particular organizations. To remain up to date and relevant for all these particular things, obviously here we have to have the policies which are being run by the government, the regulations, and so we require a senior leadership level also. So coming to the end of this video, in this video we have discussed what do we mean by social entrepreneur, what are the different types of risk, and how we can try to eliminate those particular risks, or I should say how we can mitigate that particular. We are not exactly eliminating, because the BCP is not the way. BCP is not the way to eliminate. BCP is the way to track those particular risks. What can be the alternative plan to overcome that particular problem? So that is, the BCP gives us an alternate way from one position, how can we reach to that position in which it becomes from a critical to the medium risk, and how we can overcome those particular risks even in terms of our customers or even in terms of monetary terms of our stakeholders. Thank you for this video.